At last, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is finally out. Like most people, I've been playing it religiously for the past couple of days, but it's now time to fulfill what I promised ages ago, showing everything I got wrong and right in my predictions videos. If you haven't seen any of those yet, then this video is perfect for you. I'll be going over everything I predicted in all three of those, plus some others I never mentioned, and predictions I made in the originals. But enough stalling. Let's get on with how many I didn't get correct. Since, this is predicting Smash Bros, I came up with a plentiful amount of ideas for fighters, but how many of them actually made it in? In part 1, I guessed Decidueye, Springman, Ninten, Dixie Kong, Knuckles, Waluigi, Toad, Mike Jones, Ridley, Shovel Knight, Tails, Zero, Chrono, Chun-Li, and a new Wii Fighter variant. Jeez, that's a mouthful. Guess how many of them are actually fighters? 1. Although I guess I could give myself some credit for my other ideas, we may have not gotten Decidueye, but Incineroar, the other Alola starter, made it in. A similar deal happened with Dixie Kong where we got King K. Rool. Knuckles, Waluigi, Springman, Shovel Knight, and Zero are all assist trophies, and Toad remains as Peach's neutral Wii. Part 2 saw the ridiculous guesses of Ribbon Girl, the rest of the Pikmin captains, Geno, Fawful, Bandana Waddle Dee, an NES-era character, and Rex. At the very least, Ribbon Girl and Rex are Mii Fighter costumes. And in the third and final part, I predicted Kamek, Black Shadow, Porky, Duster, Maskman, hey, did you know I'm a Mother fan, Skull Kid, Klonoa, and Shadow? Then Skull Kid and Shadow were revealed to be assist trophies, killing everyone's hopes and dreams. And I guess the Maskman was technically already in with Klaus. As for other fighter-related predictions, I hope for Young Link, Ice Climbers, and Wolf to reappear. And you know what they said? Everyone is here! Oh, and I predicted for Inklings in the original video, so I got 2 fighters right. Heck yeah! If you thought my predictions for fighters were too absurd, then you should see what I guessed for stages. In the first part, I guessed for either New Donk City or Toast Arena, Hyrule Castle from Breath of the Wild, Camp Triggerfish, Urchin Underpass, Spring Stadium, Ninja College, Ramen Bowl, the Alola Pokemon League, Alter the Sun and Moon, and Metroid Prime 4 Stage, 2 Diablo Zone, Saturn Valley, the franking Nintendo Switch! We only got 4 new stages in the end. Great. But hey, I was at least correct about New Donk City, and I was on the right track about Breath of the Wild and Splatoon stages. In part 2, I hope for Donut Dome from Kirby Star Allies, Mangrove Cove from Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, and World Trade from Xenoblade 2. I can at least give myself credit for the Tropical Freeze stage, but the other two, they were released way too late. I guessed a ton of returning stages, and luckily I was pretty accurate when it came to these. In part 1, I predicted Sector Z and Saffron City from 64, Fountain of Dreams, Great Bane, Pokeflows from Melee, and Halberd, Newport City, Luigi's Mansion, Pirate Ship, and Delfino Plaza from Brawl. The only two I was incorrect about were Sector Z and Pokefloats, and I can kind of understand why. Sector Z is basically just Corneria, and Pokefloats is kind of a mixed bag among fans. But they did bring back 75M for some reason. Part 2 is exclusively about Smash 4 returning stages. The 3DS levels I wished for were Pac-Maze, Dreamland, and Tortimer Island. The Wii U stages I guessed were Pyrosphere, Skyloft, and Orbital Gate Assault. And the cross-platform stages I yearned for were Boxing Ring, Wily Castle, and Gower Plain. The only one I'm surprised we never got was Pac-Maze. I mean, it would have been a better Pac-Man stage than Pac-Land. And finally, in Part 3, I only had 2 ideas, Metacrystal and every version of Final Destination. I knew these were unlikely, especially the Final Destination idea, but I still wish Metacrystal made it in. It's awesome, especially the music. The only scrap stage idea was the Reef from Splatoon. I didn't think I needed to predict another, which is why I didn't mention it, and even then I would have been wrong. But in the old predictions video, I guessed Yucca Desert, the Mii Plaza, the Street Pass Plaza, and a WarioWare-esque Rhythm Heaven stage. I thought my newer predictions were dumb. I'm even more disappointed with my guesses for items now that I'm looking back on them. To be fair, some of them were interesting, like the Wisp from Sonic Colors or the Shock Bomb from ARMS, but there's no need for a cloaking device since we have Special Smash, and why would they make Splatoon weapons regular items instead of just giving them to the Inklings? But hey, I did get the new Smash Ball variant prediction right, even if it wasn't what I had in mind. Back then I was hoping they changed Mario's Down B back to the Mario Tornado and changed Flood to an item. What was I thinking? Why would they ever do that? I still prefer Mario's Down Special being the Mario Tornado like it was in 64 and Melee, but it's not like I'll lose sleep over Flood replacing that role. Besides, Heal Down B is his Dare, which I admittedly didn't realize until recently. I don't play as Mario much, okay? The assist trophies I thought of didn't come to fruition. I guess for Funky Kong and Poochie. I'm kinda sad they weren't though, because I think they'd work great. I was originally planning on talking about assist trophies in part 2, but for some reason I scrapped that idea. My guesses would have been Paulina and the Squid Sisters, and in part 3 I intended to include Maxwell from Scribblenauts. I'm a bit ashamed I didn't talk about them because they're all really cool concepts. Heck, the Squid Sisters did become an assist trophy. Unfortunately, I played it safer than Yoshi's New Island when it came to Pokeball Pokemon. I focused exclusively on Totem Pokemon from Sun and Moon, and of course, the mascot legendaries. But it was a win-win situation. I was correct about Solgaleo, Lunala, Mimikyu, and Togedemaru, and Game Freak didn't go box standard and they included some really cool choices. Especially Ditto, seeing how it was cut from Melee. I didn't waste a single idea when it came to game modes. I may have not been right about everything, but I'm still glad I included them all. My first hope was the return of Target Test, or specifically how it was portrayed in 64 and Melee. Too bad we didn't get that, but hey, I did guess for some new bonus games and we got that. You know, the one that's basically just race to the finish, but you're collecting the light orbs. I was hoping for amiibo functionality online, and we still can't do that. We also didn't see the return of the Stage Builder, which really bums me. But hey, my hope for a new take on Event Match was made in the form of Spirits, and it is damn good. But of course, we have the big one, Adventure Mode. I did say I wanted a story mode similar to Melee or Brawl, but also give myself credit. We actually have an Adventure Mode! World of Light to be exact. In order to avoid spoiling much about Ultimate's Adventure Mode, I'll make a long story short. Only 2 of my predictions for it were correct. Last but not least, we have the miscellaneous crap. But before I go over the stuff I did predict in the final cuts, here's something I gave the boot to completely. Character changes. First of all, there's giving Ness and Lucas the ability to wall jump. Nope. Then there's reverting Mewtwo Shadow Ball to how it was in Melee. Nada! And then there were 2 for Mario, changing his down B to the Mario Tornado and giving him Cappy. Zilch and... kinda? I mean, he does have Cappy, but he's not utilizing Mario's moveset outside of taunting. Still nice to see him appear though. Anyways, I hope for lots of improvements to the customization system. I wanted more variety when it came to custom moves, a better way of unlocking custom items, and custom final smashes. Little did I know custom moves would be removed from everyone outside of Mii Fighters. Not like I really cared too much because they felt like an afterthought for anyone who wasn't a Mii Fighter. The thing I wanted most was the ability to toggle on and off bosses in stages like Metal Face and Gabbard Plain. They upped the ante by letting players turn off stage hazards completely. Thank God! Sadly, we didn't get custom menus, which was a little too far-fetched, or the ability to change how you start up matches. Although I kind of like how it works now, so I won't complain. That was just about everything I guess in the span of all my Super Smash Bros. Ultimate predictions videos. While I did get a ton of stuff wrong, I still had a lot of fun making these videos, and I wouldn't mind creating more for other upcoming games. I can also blame myself for a lot of my guesses being incorrect. I will admit that a majority of my predictions were either way too safe or way too unreasonable. But whatever, until next time, this is Blue10, and you all better be enjoying Smash Ultimate. It was worth the wait.